All right, thank you for being here. Happy Tuesday. The plan for today is fairly chill. I'm gonna say some announcements, then we're gonna go through the study guide, and then the rest of the class is yours to study, review things as you need. And I'm here for questions. If you all feel like you're prepared, you can leave early if you want. Um, but yeah. So for announcements, are any of you in seminar 350 by chance? This is kind of a quote unquote younger class. So I wouldn't guess. Maybe. I think it's the third level seminar. Um, yeah. So in that class, there's a reading by Alan Turing. I've been blanking on the name of the reading all day. But it's in this reading, he describes how can we tell how do we determine what's the question? Can machines think? That's his main question. Can machines think? And he proposes a test to see, can machines think? And the test he proposes is we've got one person in one room who is asking questions and one person in another room who is answering questions. But the person who's answering is either answering as a human or is feeding the questions into the machine and just sending what the machine says. So these two options. And so now that we've got ChatGPT, the idea is we could do this test. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the Turing test in this event. So I'm doing this along with two other faculty members, one who's in physics and one who's in integral and world languages. We did it last semester and it was really fun. A lot of people showed up. So yeah, so our goal is to do this test and see. So you're going to be in one room asking the questions, and it's your job to figure out what, like, I'm going to be in the other room. So you get to figure out, am I ChatGPT or am I actually Professor Roscoe? So I think it's going to be really fun. It's on Thursday. So this Thursday. So you're going to be here for an exam anyway. And so if you want to maybe go to Cafe Louis, get some coffee or something, and then come at 5:30, it should be fun. And I think it's probably going to be different every time we run this because you come up with different questions. And so yeah, so I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be in Galileo 201, which is upstairs. It's the big lecture hall. So yeah, it should be good. So that's going on. Lab 4 is due today. So make sure if you haven't finished it and you've got a partner, talk with your partner and work through any last things. The homework 3 is due Thursday. Does that seem doable to you? No,
Did you get my lab for?
I did. So the question is, do we want an extra day or do I push it? I don't, because do you want to work on it over spring break?
They won. Maybe Sunday.
Sunday? Yeah, okay. Do you have a different thought?
Push it to push it.
Yeah, that's the question because it's right before spring break. Yeah, I could do Sunday. Does Sunday sound good? Okay. Let's change it now before I forget. Homework 3. Sunday the 30th. Just so you're aware, I'm not available Friday. I'm just traveling this weekend. So if you have questions, you'll have to send me an email and there may be a delay. So as always, start early, run into issues early, ask questions early. Okay. We did that. Great. Okay, so the midterm study guide is on Canvas. Let's go back over here and scroll, scroll, scroll. Down at the bottom, we've got midterm. We've got the docx that I'm about to show you. And it's also linked in the midterm exam assignment. It's not the actual midterm, pretty sure. Okay, where'd it go? Not open. Study guide, not the actual exam. All right, so I'm hoping that this exam won't be too difficult. So it's mostly, the idea is to test, do you know some specific things about Java? And I'm also trying to test, can you write some, like, can you give me a program that does XYZ? With most syntax included. So it's 10 questions. Some of them are about syntax specific things to Java, like, do we need brackets? Do we need semicolons? The answer is yes. How do we print something in Java? You just have that memorized. What's the main method called exactly? What's that signature? So a little bit of memorization, just because we've gotten to this point in Java where that should start to come really easily for you. How do you write a for loop or a while loop? Again, we've been doing this for a while, so being able to do that like on command is important, rather than looking up, how do I do a for loop again? That's kind of the goal. That's where we should be as a class. General questions about Java, like what are primitive variables? Can you list them? And on the other side, what are reference variables? What's a class or an object? And what are some of the properties that it can have, like fields, methods, constructors, all things that we've talked about. Knowing that like there's a toString method, or here's how we compare things with equals. That stuff is important to know. For loop and while loop structure, back at the very beginning when we talked about here's like the initialization, the condition, and the update steps. That's something you should know. How do arrays work? How are they declared? How do you allocate space? How do you access something? Can you change the length of an array once you allocate it? Make sure you go over the definitions in the OOP PowerPoint. Make sure you can also remember what visibility means, and go through some examples to yourself. So like if this field is private, who else can access this? If this method is package visible, in what situations can someone access this method? Where can someone use it? And what's the difference between public, private, package visible? Which the middle point pretty much answers. I may ask you, so like we did an activity, what was it? Last Tuesday, where I asked you to come up with some example classes. What are fields, methods? What do constructors look like? So I might ask you to do that again. And there's going to be something on UML diagrams. So make sure that you review what that's all about and the different components to that. So those are the facts. What are your questions? Yep,
How many questions do you think it's gonna be?
10.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think maybe, I don't think I assigned point values yet, but I'm aiming for like 100 points. Yeah, there's gonna be not many multiple choice. Most of it is short answer or construct, like, what's the word? Short answer or more, like slightly longer answer. Any other questions? Yeah.
There would be like there won't be like write a specific, write a code to do this. Or could there be if it's simpler, or should we?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would expect, I mean, I'm not gonna expect completely syntax perfect, but I would like syntax close enough.
But it won't be like half the test is spent on one specific part.
No,
Like, that's pretty
that
difficult.
should not be the case. I forgot to mention, so when you come to the exam, the idea is probably maybe along here, or we have people sitting in the front rows, so maybe not. So probably just like along the projector. You'll leave your bags at the front of the room, and also phones either on the table or leave in your bags. And just make sure that your phones are off and any ringers are silenced. I also am fine with scratch paper if you need it. I don't know that you should, but in case you do, then yeah. No phones, no computers, no notes, just what's in your brain. Other general questions? Okay, so the rest of the class time is here for you to study. If you're not done with lab 4 yet, then maybe meet up with your partner and finish it. And then you can continue to study, or you could work on the homework. This time is for you, and I'm available here for questions and answers.